Good evening. I hope you're sitting comfortably and I hope you're ready to move forward to the very edge of your seat as we offer you one of the greatest thrillers ever made. Not just one of the greatest French thrillers ever made, but I would argue one of the greatest movie thrillers of all time, The Wages of Fear, directed by the master, Henri-Georges Clouzot, and starring the fabulous Yves Montand. Now, a few things about this movie you might like to know. It was initially meant to be shot in Spain, but Yves Montand and his wife, Simone Signoret, were very politically conscious and they refused to go and work in that country while Franco was still in power. So instead they moved production to the south of France, normally of course known for its glorious weather, but unfortunately this time subject to some terrible floods, which not only delayed production but caused illness among the cast and crew and led the director to break his ankle. Despite the dramas off screen though, the real action happens on screen as some desperate men are forced in difficult circumstances to attempt an almost impossible mission, transporting some ancient nitroglycerine well past its sell-by date in rickety old trucks across some of the most dangerous terrain known to man in South America, where they have to try and put out an explosion at an oil rig. It's an incredible movie, a masterpiece, as I've said, a classic, and some of the sequences of suspense I think deserve to be remembered as the greatest in cinema ever achieved. When the film was first released in America, because of the rather unflattering portrayal of the oil company involved, several scenes had to be removed. We are, of course, showing you the original, delightfully anti-USA version. If you've never seen The Wages of Fear, then frankly I envy you, because you are in for a magnificent treat. If like me you've seen it many times, then I'm sure you'll welcome the opportunity again. I think it repays the experience every single time, and I always find something new to enjoy in it. It is, without doubt, a masterpiece, and you don't have to just take my word for it. Film critics all over the world agree, and when it first came out in 1953, it won not just the Golden Bear at Berlin, but also the Palme d'Or, which is almost unheard of.
Yo? Maldita la gana que tengo de hacerle daño. Al contrario, lo que voy es hacerle bien. ¿Verdad, pichona? Súbete al cuarto, que luego voy.
Without wishing to be too gender specific or even chauvinistic here, I would argue that Wages of Fear is probably a man's movie in the traditional sense, not just because it's a theme that appeals to men, but also because it's a largely male cast. And frankly, if I were driving an old truck filled with nitroglycerine across country, I'd rather do it without my wife sitting alongside telling me where I was going wrong.